So who were the Huns, and how did they invade India? The Huns were a nomadic people who lived in Central Asia, the Caucasus, and Eastern Europe between the 4th and 6th century AD. Studies show that the Huns extended their kingdom from the border of Persia to Khotan in Central Asia. There were two branches of Huns that advanced towards the west. One branch of the Huns moved towards the Roman Empire and the other towards India. This branch of the Huns, which came to India, was referred to as the White Huns. The invasion of India by the Huns began about 100 years after the Kushanas invasion. In historical studies, one of the most warlike tribes, popular for their barbarism and cruelty, was the Huna tribe. There were two major invasions of the Huns in the subcontinent. While the Gupta Empire ruled over a major part of India, after the death of the Gupta Emperor, Samudragupta, there was less control of the Guptas in India. During this time, the Huns' armed forces attacked the Gupta dynasty and they were able to win Jammu, Kashmir, Himachal, Rajasthan, Punjab, and parts of Malwa. This way, the Huns established their kingdom in some parts of India and Tormana was the White Hun leader. The Gupta Empire in India reigned in the Ganges basin during the 5th century, and the Kushan dynasty occupied the area along the Indus. After defeating the Kushanas, the Huns entered the subcontinent from the Kabul Valley. They entered Punjab and the Gupta Empire failed to protect the northwest frontier of the empire, and this made easier for the Huns to enter an unguarded entrance in the Gangetic Valley, just into the heart of the Gupta Empire. This was in 458 AD. The Hephthalites, also known as the Huns, kept on invading India until the Gupta ruler Skandagupta repulsed them. The Huns, under the leadership of Toramana, suffered a crushing defeat by the Gupta Emperor Skandagupta. The Huns waited till 470 AD, till the death of the Gupta ruler Skandagupta to invade India again in a proper manner. During this time, the Guptas had been ruling over a greater part of India. This time Huns were under the leadership of Maherkula, also known as Mahergila or the Indian Attila. He was the successor and son of Toramana, and known as a very tyrant ruler and a destroyer. This time, the Huns were successful in their invasion of India. They temporarily overthrew the Gupta Empire. Maherkula ruled from his capital at Sakal, which is today the modern Sialkot. The Huna power in India collapsed after the defeat of Maherkula. Maherkula was defeated successively by two Indian rulers, Yasodharman of Malwa and Narasimhagupta Baladataya of the later Gupta dynasty. Before the defeat of the Huns by Skandagupta, the first invasions of the Huna displaced the Gupta Empire rule from the northwestern part of India. This invasion also influenced the chieftains and regional kings to become more ambitious and rebel against the Gupta Empire. The Huns ruled over Gandhar and central Punjab, and also controlled the Kushans. The first Hun king Toramana ruled northern India as far as Malwa in central India. After his death, his son Maherkula, who destroyed the Gupta Empire, ruled over northwestern India for 30 years. However, Maherkula was driven out of the plains and into Kashmir, and died in about 542 AD. After his death, the political power of the Huns declined. The Huns who invaded the northwestern Indian subcontinent are said to be the ancestors of many local tribes of the region such as the Rajputs, Gujars and Jats, and also the Abdalis, Karluks and Kalachis in Afghanistan and Central Asia.